Jason Brisbane, Head of Community and Grassroots Development at NFL International UK, and I'm currently a delegate on the MSc Sports Directorship.
Great stuff. Thanks, Jason. Well, what drove you towards the Sporting Directorship Program?
Well, I think there's really three key elements of that. So, well, first of all, I wanted to develop personally as an individual. I'd reached a stage in my career where I really just wanted to grow and take myself to that next level. I think the second part of that was really preparing myself for much more senior roles, and with the sporting director being a real key senior role within sporting organizations, this would be the key course to really help me prepare for that. And then the third part of that is improving my professional network, and knowing that when you're in an environment with a bunch of like-minded people who all want to grow, that's a really positive environment to be around, again, from a range of backgrounds. And that would definitely kind of help me in my efforts to grow, but also professionally, looking in the future, you never know what opportunities or collaborations could come from that.
I know obviously you've been on the program only sorry, so some of the conversation. I think you're going forward, maybe what you've learned and knowledge that you can utilize.
I think definitely the reflective piece. The first module we've been doing is really focused on yourself as a leader, developing your professional brand, developing a real true understanding of what you can bring to an organization, and also where your gaps are if you do want to go into a role such as a sporting director or general manager or roles like that in the future. And that's been a really, really valuable activity, because we don't always have a lot of time to really look inwards and think about ourselves and think about what's important to us. We often just go with the flow and work and deliver and just try and get results. So this has been really, really beneficial from a personal development standpoint, and really starting to understand myself better, what I can bring to an organization, and also what I need to improve on as well.
Obviously, the VSI network is quite unique. On these programs, there's people from different backgrounds, different sports, different areas of sport, all coming together and learning. What can you take from that network, and how important is it for someone else to go and work in the senior levels of sport to have such a wide network?
I think it's massively important. Professional sport and sports in general, there's so many different ways of doing nearly the same types of operations, and that's what makes being on this course so valuable, because you can speak to people who are in similar environments as you, but the way they work is very, very different. So there's that exchange of learning, there's sharing best practice, and everyone can help everyone else in some sort of way. And there's always going to be things that for example, you didn't know, and that's really going to help you if you're wanting to be in a senior position. That broad range of understanding of the multitude of ways one thing can be done will really help you from an innovation and a problem-solving standpoint.
Is there any particular maybe individual in the course from a certain sport which has maybe opened your eyes a little bit and thought, I didn't know they'd done that in swimming, or I didn't know they'd done that in cricket? Has there been an opportunity there to broaden that knowledge?
I think maybe at the moment it's maybe been a bit too early, as everything's been very internally looking. But I think when you listen to people's approaches to either the way they train or the way they work, some of their focuses, some people are really have roles that are really focused heavily on data and analytics, and everything's data led, whereas some other groups are very kind of experience and process led and just want to try and pilot things out. So even getting that contrast early doors, you start saying, okay, again, there's so many different ways of doing the same thing, and just the information that you use will really impact your output.
Has there been any, again, I know it's been a short time, but any particular highlights so far, anything that's coming up which you're looking forward to?
Well, we had Chris Brindley, MBE, come and speak to the group, and he's an incredible speaker, and he had such a big focus on everyone else. He's been really successful in business. Now he's really and in banking. Now he's going is in sports, and will be chairing the Rugby World Cup. And his focus on how you work with other people, how you develop other people, the relationships that you build, and how important those things are, was quite eye-opening, because often we can be very, just concentrating on our work and what we need to do. And he really pushed home the importance of learning from other people's, developing that people that you're with. And if you have a focus outwardly more, that's really going to help you succeed probably more than if you just try to do everything by yourself.
So I was looking at your role with the NFL. You lead kind of their community engagement programs here in the UK. We see it a lot in the press. We see it a lot at Wembley every year. How big an appetite is there for this sport in the UK, do you think?
Yeah, there's a huge appetite for the sport. The sport's been, in the UK since the late 80s, early 90s, but more recently, with the growth in participation, for example. So American football is the fastest growing collegiate sport now. And with us having multiple games, at Tottenham, previously at Wembley, previously at Twickenham, and with the increase of our flag program in terms of schools taking part in the sport as well, it's an environment that wasn't necessarily there, maybe 20 years ago, and the whole culture of the NFL really, really excites people, and it's something new, and it's something that, it's very different to traditional sports such as football, such as rugby, and what have you. So that there gets everyone really excited, and we sell out every year. We've probably got more terrestrial coverage than ever before. We're on the BBC, we're on Channel 5, we've got a Sky channel now. So every single year is going on strength to strength, and there's definitely a positive future for the NFL here in the UK.
And with your role in the NFL, can you tell us more the specifics of how you go out into the community, you engage youngsters, and you also engage adults, to whether it's fitness, whether it's learning the sport, whether it's understanding the sport? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So we've got, so there's a couple of different strands. So we have our kind of school and community engagement program, and that's a big part of that is just spreading the knowledge of the game and getting people up to speed. The sport isn't indigenous to the UK, so a big part of us is actually helping as many people as possible understand the game, so they can coach the game, so they can deliver it within their schools and community organizations. So that's a huge part of that, and we do that with, again, teachers, multi-sport providers, university students as well. We also have the NFL Academy now, 16 to 19, and that's really similar to a high school American football program. And again, that's really an opportunity to have a home for the NFL in the community, working with young people and creating, potentially future players, but also more importantly, future leaders of the sports, future advocates. And that's really a big part of what we do. The more we can give people the knowledge and the tools and the skills to be able to give that to other people, that's how the sport's really going to grow.
I suppose that'll be all part of its future success. I mean, did you and the organisation as a whole foresee the success it's had in the UK over the last 12, 13 years?
I think, and our MD has said it many a times, when they ran the first game, Dolphins versus Giants in 2007 out of Wembley, I don't think anyone could have predicted that we would have played in 3 different stadiums, 10 years later, having a 10-year deal with Tottenham, and having 8 teams over here over a 6 or 7 week period. I think the growth has definitely surprised a lot of people. We definitely thought it would have been a success, but I think that it's definitely been way more than people have expected, and everyone's just riding that wave now and trying to keep building on that momentum.
And the big question, which everybody wants answering, and no one wants to answer, so I'm putting you on a spot now. Are we going to see a UK-based franchise anytime soon?
Everything we're doing in the UK is essentially making sure the UK is franchise ready. So, building the fan base, building the participation, having the media deals and the sponsorship deals, creating that ideal environment. So if a team does want to relocate, it can slot right in, and everything is in a way pre-packaged for them. The team doesn't have to do the work, because we've done that already. It's a $1 billion question in terms of if we will get that, and ultimately that's up to the owners. And all we can do in the UK is just, again, create that environment, make it attractive for an owner, and if they want to push the button and come, then it'll be a ready-made package for them.
That's great, Jason. Thank you so much today.
Excellent. Thank you.